quick synopsis of last night. Obviously it was a good effort. We challenged the guys to try to improve and create a situation where we could get a lot of meaningful snaps for a lot of folks, and they did that. Proud of the guys that they went out and they had it on their mind to get a shutout, which is hard to do in any football game, and they accomplished that. I think they were proud of it. We did a good job of stopping the run and affected the quarterback. So all in all, it was a good day for win number 8. In terms of moving on for this week, it's like it's always been. It's we've got to practice with a great focus and a physicality, a toughness and tackling practice and those kind of things. The fundamentals of the game can't elude us, even though it's week 11. We're in pretty good shape health-wise. I don't think there's anybody that will be without. We gotta practice smart, but practice with strong fundamentals. And a big part of this game will be eye control. There's a lot of moving parts in the offense we'll face. So better get to work and work at a pace that we normally work at. No different than any other week in terms of that. But we'll certainly have to make sure that we got their attention and we're focused.
Kevin, Rhett was talking about you can't really understand what it's like to be in that game, part of that game, until you experience it. Just talk about your experience with it. How is it different?
The game last night or this week? I would need you to clarify that for me. Well, having been part of Nebraska, Oklahoma, Florida State, Florida, Miami, Clemson, South Carolina, LSU, Alabama, Tennessee, Alabama, having been part of, some of the most storied rivalries in college football, it's why you play the game. And obviously there's a lot of great games like this across the country. But then I've got a different viewpoint of it, and that I grew up in this state, son of a high school coach, and so I've seen it firsthand. And I've got relatives that didn't speak for months because of this game. Maybe it's because I grew up in this state, but if I didn't feel this or sense this in any other rivalry, it means a great deal to this state in a lot of ways, and is pretty much in your face 365 days a year.
Kevin, how much did the shutout kind of come from the players meeting the goal of getting that last night? Because it seemed like a lot of the guys were talking about that got brought up throughout the week in practice.
Well, I think it really goes back a little bit further than that, in that obviously we have a scoring goal, which is when we don't have a goal in terms of on the goal board to shut people out. That's nice to do if you can do it, but we want a scoring goal that puts us in the top in the country, and they'd come close to that several times in the Arkansas game, in the I think Louisiana Monroe game, I think it was, and then the Georgia game. So I think they come close, and they started kind of just came up and started talking about it. I mean, we don't go in there and just say, hey, this is the goal this week. It's probably Josh Hosley was probably the one that started it.
How much has Alabama's offense changed? Not only from when you were there, but even from last year, LSU?
From last week, it's changed a lot. Yeah, it's a lot different offense than it was 5 years ago, 3 years ago, even in some ways a year ago. And I think that comes about in that, their offensive coordinator is really a very, very bright offensive mind. He's a very good play caller on game day. And I think one of the best things that he does is he utilizes his people. I think that's evident in the fact that in the last 3 years there's been 3 different starting quarterbacks. The offenses have looked different, but the production hadn't. And I think that maybe answers your question.
Can you tell how much, I mean, as the season has progressed, how much it's just built around Jalen Hurts? He's very different even from what it sounds.
Well, I mean, when you say it's built around, I think any offense in college football is built around the offense, the quarterback. If it's not, you probably got problems. And so I think they've tailor-made some things for him, but they still, they do some of the same things, but there's other things that they feature with him, just like when, 2 years ago, as opposed to last year, things were different. So, yeah, they've built it around him.
Is that something you feel like Lane's his best strength is that you pop in the tape and tendencies are really, really hard to find, and that he tends to kind of, work with it? There's not a whole lot of things to go on from a winning belief.
Well, I think he's number one is I personally think that he's got a very creative offensive mind. I think he's very quick and creative. I think he lives he calls the game with no fear, and puts it, asks players to do things and puts it in their hands to execute it. And he does a great job of that.
You talk about some of your backups who haven't played a lot. How they do?
Well, obviously they when we were pretty inundated with guys who don't start the game, some of them had some playing time. Some of them did not have very many snaps. We talked about at halftime of going out and defending every blade of grass, every snap, defend every blade of grass. And they responded by going out and putting 6 straight 3-and-outs together. And so I think they didn't make a first down until the last drive, and that was by inches. And that was a 6-and-out, I guess, or the game ended on the last play. So that was a positive. We kind of joked in a meeting room today when we reviewed the film that those guys actually played better than the starters did. The starters didn't have 6 3-and-outs in a row.
Yeah, not to get way too much strategically into the game plan, but you played multiple quarterbacks this season, and at times you wanted to keep them in the pocket, like in the opener with Deshaun, you wanted to keep them in the pocket. Hurts's numbers really begin to drop passing-wise when he has to hold on to the ball for over a couple of seconds. So just what goes into the thought process of how you want to play a multiple quarterback, whether you want to try and make them pass or to try and flush them out and put them on the run and make them throw on the run, or what goes into the thought process?
Well, we don't want to flush him out and make him throw on the run because now you got a double-edged sword in that he doesn't have to throw it and he can run real fast and far. And does often. So, as we look at things, I mean, obviously we'll look at what has affected him the most in the previous games. And, that's pretty standard operating procedure. But he's been effective in every game pretty much.
Looked like Marshall Taylor when I watched him have a pretty good game.
He did.
First time he's played much.
Marshall, and they were still throwing the ball. They were still throwing the ball when it was 54-0 with 2 minutes to go in the game. He got some meaningful snaps in terms of not just going out there and running the dive every play.
Kevin, in terms of his development as a freshman, Daniel Thomas, is that somebody that you've seen get better every week and had a productive freshman season for somebody that didn't have a whole lot?
Yeah, Daniel is number one is, and this is coach speak, and everybody's going to grin, but it's actually a compliment. The guy's a football player. He gets it. He knows that there's one ball out there, and he has instincts to find it. And so he's a really smart guy. He understands conceptually what we're asking him to do. He's athletic. He runs well. He's got very good eyes. He has used his freshman year to put himself in a position to be a very, very good football player.
You think he's a future safety or nickel? What do you sort of project him?
Oh, I'm trying to get to tomorrow morning, and then sure the furthest I'm going is Saturday. I ain't even made it to Christmas yet. It'd be like asking me what I'm gonna buy my wife for Christmas. I have no clue. And next year, I'm not ready for that yet.
Kevin, having worked for a lot of great ones, what makes Nick Saban unique and to work for, to be on a staff?
I think obviously, coaches his record speaks for himself. For itself, he's a very focused man. He has a way of things, the way that he wants things done, and he gets everybody on the same page with that process. They buy into it, and they just march to it.
Can you talk about this team's ability to back down passes on a line of scrimmage?
Well, I think obviously the talent level in which we have up front, they're active, athletic guys, and so Rodney does a good job of working at pressuring the passer, of the pass rush. Obviously, we're working for sacks, but more importantly, we're working to affect the quarterback. And one of the ways to affect the quarterback is to get your hands up and bat balls. And Wesley's done a great job in the back end. I think somebody told me this today. I don't know if it's accurate. You can go look it up, but that we're like second in the country in passes broken up, and so we work really hard. Rodney and Wesley, Travis do a great job of ball awareness, and so it's something that worked on really hard.
Anything else? All right, Coach, thank you.
All right.